It's just a privilege to be here and to bring all of you greetings from the Party Center. Not only greetings, but solidarity and congratulations on 40 years. 40 years is a long time. I mean, we don't live forever. Life is relatively short. So that's a big piece, even if we're fortunate, of our life. And I want you to know how much we love our Detroit comrades and the Detroit branch. Because their story, if you really understand it, is a story that gives hope to the world. Well, these comrades were barely 20, talking about the founding comrades. And they were up in Ann Arbor, or whatever campus they might have been on. And there were a number of us, quite a few of us, who were in similar circumstances. They could have decided that, well, I've done my radical thing, and I'm going to devote the next 20, 30, or 40 years of my life to making as much money as I can, and getting as big a house as I can, and seeing how much distance I can create between myself and misery and suffering and injustice. And let's face it, a lot of our contemporaries did that. But these comrades took another path. Not to be missionaries, not just idealism. Maybe it started with idealism, but it evolved into something deeper. It evolved into revolutionary ideology and seriousness and discipline. They decided to become revolutionaries and devote their life to the struggle. And the struggle on all levels. They were not going to be content with just sitting around a table like that and talking to each other, talking, until the cows come home, and intellectualizing, but being separate from the masses, because they saw no point to that. They said that we have got to be at one with the most oppressed and downtrodden people of this city and this state and of this world. Be they Palestinians in Gaza, be they the homeless and the unemployed, be they welfare recipients, or be they your sisters and brothers who are taking help on the assembly line at GM or Ford or Chrysler or some steel mill. That you'd be lucky if you live 40 years and have 5 years to live when you get out of there because you're breathing so much poison. They said that we wanted to be with the workers, the most oppressed workers, to be at one with them. And we will not be content, we'll never be content until this system is through. But we won't even allow ourselves to rest until when we have a meeting, no matter how big that meeting is, and we look around and we see black and brown and poor and all genders and all generations. Because that's a sign that we're with the people. That's what makes our comrades here so rich in their experience. The party values it so much. We see Detroit as one of our anchors in the real working class. Some people talk the talk. They can do that, you've heard it. But they have a right to do that more than a lot of people because they really walk the walk. And we know that. They become, wherever they came from, however they were attracted to the struggle, to the revolutionary cause, they have long since become one with the people. In the same way that all revolutionaries become one with the people, no matter what their origins were, whether they were modest, whether they came from affluence, or whether they came from the middle class, like someone like Che Guevara or Fidel Castro. Our comrades here in Detroit, as much as anyone in the party, and we're in all parts of the country, hold up that part, hold up that important principle. Be with the most oppressed. Help them. Do not talk down to them. Help lift them up. Serve them. Learn revolutionary humility. And through that, over 40 years, They got this tremendous prestige. That's hard. You can't buy that. People try to buy people off. But you can't buy that on the assembly line. You get that because through your deeds, you win workers' trust. They may not know what your agenda was when you came and talked to them. But after a few struggles, they know that you are the one to go to when there's a problem. Because you can be helpful. Because you are part of the solution. That's what our comrades learn. And that's what they've become. We all know the last 30 years have been particularly rough. Not only on a human level, workers losing their job, all these good union jobs going away, more and more poverty and misery and deprivation. But on a worldwide level, as the comrades have spoken, reaction, racism, division, counter-revolution. People who want us to believe that capitalism is here forever. There's no point in even discussing an alternative to it. They declared victory. Well, we say no. And our comrades here in Detroit have said no. And these difficult times have not made them weaker. It's steeled them. It's made them stronger. They've learned how to survive. What's that expression about, the strongest survive? They've become so strong that you can't defeat them. You try to push them down, you can't do it. One of the points of celebrating an anniversary is not just to be nostalgic and look backward. We have to be forward-looking. Those 40 years have prepared our comrades, and all the comrades who have come in those 40 years, whether it's been in the last 3 weeks or the last 15 or 20 years, they are ready to take this struggle into the future, to the next level. And we have to keep our eyes on that. Because as both speakers said in their own way, this crisis of the capitalist system is not going away. It's not going away this time. There really is no alternative to organizing as a class and fighting back. Yes. And it doesn't matter what generation you are. I think, in my limited experience, that the younger folks who might be suspicious of some of the older folks, especially, if we're trying to tell them what to do, they begin to realize that we have something to offer if we win their trust. And of course, everybody appreciates the value of young people becoming part of the revolution. That's been one of our big problems. We've had a generation, or maybe 2 generations, where that new influx of new blood hasn't been what it should be. We've got to work to change that. But we need the youth. We've got youth here. And I'm sure that they're going to take the same example of those comrades 40 years ago at their campus up in Ann Arbor and say a life trying to get rich, trying to forget about everybody, just taking care of yourself and a few other people, while people are suffering, while the whole world is going to hell, is not a life worth living. I might as well be free. I might as well have no mind. Why have consciousness if I'm not going to do anything except sit in some house and see how much money I can make and spend? This is very important. We all have a role to play, not just in the past, but in the future. And the workers are waiting for us. They want people who know. Some people haven't heard the call. They haven't got the message yet, but they're waiting for it. They don't even know it. You, comrades and friends, you have that message. Go out and bring it to the workers. They're waiting for you. They need it. Long live the Detroit branch of Workers' World Party.